Hey, I'm Nick Williams with Medicare Millionaire, and I'm here with Christian Woodring, and we're going to talk about your new career in Medicare sales, Christian, correct?
Yeah.
And you just started the AEP. How's that going for you?
It's going pretty good. Pretty much all of the appointments that I've been going into, I've been getting applications in. So it's
Yes,
been much
and
easier than what I'm used to.
yeah. And how many sales do you have to date? Total
Um,
sales. I don't need to know what type or anything, but just total sales.
I have I believe 10 submitted, and then two people that I can write in November for turning 65,
Right.
November
Okay.
1st.
So it's been a week, and you've got today's the 22nd. That's 1 week. So that's averaging two a day if you use a
Yep.
5-day work week, right?
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a
Uh-huh.
that's a good pace. That's a good pace. You should be pleased with that.
Mhm.
How do you feel about it overall?
It's been it's been much easier than what I'm used to.
And what are you used to?
I was working under 65 with small business owners.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a tough sale there. I mean,
Yeah, and the
hey,
internet leads, and yeah.
here's the thing with the under 65 business owners. People think that our clients are hit a lot, but they're hammered pretty hard as well, aren't they?
Yeah, especially if they fill out those internet lead forms.
Oh yeah, once they do it, they're just on the list.
Yeah.
So, Christian, you're running what type of leads now?
The telemarketing ones.
And so you are doing you're using our system, our sales
Yeah.
presentation. And so, Christian, what do you attribute your success to? Because I do consider you being successful at this point.
I attribute all of it to the telemarketing program and the 4 product progression. I mean, that's what I'm using in every home, and that's what I'm doing. So
And do you use the health questions? Do you start with the health questions?
yes, yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, do you or do you?
No, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, I'm just saying the reason I hesitate is I'm like, when I remember, sometimes I'm so new. Sometimes I just go in those
yeah.
homes and I just start talking.
Right.
But yeah,
Hey, it's better to have nervous energy and just release it, right?
yeah,
Than it is to say nothing. And
yeah,
you seem like a well-spoken young man, so it's just a matter of talking. But that does, and I'm glad to hear you say that you are using that, and
mhm.
I know that it works. Do you find that the people are receptive to your conversation right out of the gate, or are
Yeah,
they guarded? Tell me about that.
yeah. I've only had one lady, and she wasn't even rude. I've not been porched yet.
Uh-huh.
I've not had anybody. I've had a little bit of confusion, just not knowing why exactly I'm there. But no, I've not had anyone be rude. I had one lady. She invited me in, very nice, all of this, and I sat down, and she just started dialing on the phone and handed me the phone, and it was her son. Um,
Yeah.
so so it's just I've had 3-way calls, stuff like that, but I've not had anyone be rude. No.
Yeah, they'll do that. Sometimes they'll bring their children into it.
Yeah.
And I've had people call their children and just set the phone there and not even tell me that their child was listening. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there having this whole conversation, and there's a phone sitting there unbeknownst to me, and then they just pick it up and start talking. So
Yeah.
so so this is brand new for you, that the starting AEP was starting your Medicare career, correct?
Yeah. I did contracting with Joey about 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh. So again, you're off to a good start. You just need to maintain that pace. We've discussed leads, and we are
Yeah.
going to increase your lead count because you're
Mhm.
doing a good job, as we've discussed, correct?
Yeah.
So that will be helpful to you. Is your day full, or do you find yourself running out of appointments before you run out of day?
No, my right now my day is full. It's just how long I have money to keep it full. But yeah, no, I usually wake up with between 11 and 15 appointments.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's enough. That'll
Yeah.
keep you running all day.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. when you're out there, so you get to the door, you're going in, you sit down, you talk about how's their health and or whatever comes natural to you, correct?
Yeah.
And when you transition to the sale, let me ask you, have you found that to be cumbersome or smooth? These products are new to you, the apps are new to you, whether it's paper or electronic. How has that been for you, Christian?
Um, it's very smooth. I mean, I've not really dealt with any objections.
Mhm.
I have a laptop still, and they hate signing with the pad,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, I've not really had any objections so far. Nothing, nothing hard or anything that's hard to overcome or anything. They're just like, oh well, when does this start or stuff like
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah, and the it is good to get the iPad thing because that's much easier.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to tell them to like click and drag
Yes.
their finger. Yeah,
I made a whole video about that once. That
I
one
watched
thing.
it. Yeah,
Did you watch that? So you know.
yeah.
Okay, so you transition, you get the application, and now we've talked briefly about other product sales.
Uh-huh.
Now we know that if we sell Medicare Advantage, we cannot sell the final expense, but we could sell indemnity products. We've
Uh-huh.
also talked about the fact that you can sell Medicare Advantage if the people bring it up, but how are you going to work in the other sales? Like if you're selling a Medicare supplement, how are you going to work in the final expense? What effort are you going to make to add more product sales on top of the Medicare plan?
It's just on our review that Joey put together. I mean, it's
Mhm.
what plan letter are you on? You're on G, okay. And how much life insurance do you have? And who's it with? I mean,
Mhm.
it's just a question
It's just a question. Yeah.
yeah, on the
Yes.
review, and then we go. I'll circle back to it after.
Yes. And that's what you have to do. Now, you told me the other day, how long was that appointment you were on?
I was in an appointment for 6 hours the other day. I got two apps out of it, but they didn't know
Yeah.
where anything was. Nothing.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine because the typical Medicare plan, you're going to make maybe $175 a year on it. And
275.
275, thank you, thereabouts.
Hmm.
Okay. And you're going to get that for 5 years. So it's like that's several $1,000s for 6 hours of work.
Yeah.
An average
Hmm.
4 to 5 years. So you're definitely, and then whatever other products you sell them, so it's going to, that's well worth it. If I can go out every day, sit down for 6 hours and sell somebody, have two applications,
Yeah.
think about it over 50 weeks, just add up the days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be rich real fast.
Uh-huh.
When I say rich, you'd have cash flow that would
Yeah.
put you in a good income bracket. What are you having any issues or concerns out there?
Um, not necessarily. I have had people that, I go out and I just can't help, even though
Yes.
I should be able to help them. Like, there's, I went out to this one guy, he was 91, and he was out there splitting wood with an axe. Splitting wood. I'm dead serious. And I don't
That's
know. I'm like,
funny.
I wasn't able to help him with anything. He was on like retirement programs and whatnot, but
Yes.
he was great. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, and you can't help. Here's the way I put it, Christian. You can't sell everybody, but when you can get a sale, you better get it. So
uh-huh.
you have to be able to be relaxed so that you can observe what's going on, right?
Hmm.
And you
Yeah.
seem like very, very composed.
Yeah,
So
I got that from Joey. I
yeah.
try and follow exactly what he says on, like, just
Hmm.
going in, not, not worrying about anything, it's all gonna work out.
And you've recently had a baby. You've had to move
Yep.
out of your house because it's been flooded, and there have been some other issues as well as we've discussed earlier. So you've had your hands full.
Yeah. I've had my hands full, had also some health stuff come up, and I tried for like 2 days doing some phone appointments, and that just it wasn't the same. I really want to go out and meet with them just because
Yes.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tends to be an easier sale.
Yeah. Well, and there's a connection between, you know,
And it's
you and
easier
the
to create a
client.
client for life that way.
Yeah.
And you have that opportunity to build that book, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, so you, what can you do like to increase your applications? Or I think you're great where you're at. If you maintain that pace, that would be coming out of the gates. That would be fantastic,
Yeah.
But what's your objectives? What's next for Christian Woodring?
Just getting on the training every single morning. I mean, I
Yeah.
got on yesterday and immediately, just from what Joey said that one time, that one thing that he said, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know about. I didn't know you could, if you picked an Advantage plan in December, you can go back after January and February. You can go back to the old plan if you didn't necessarily like the plan you were on. And that immediately I was like, oh man, I definitely lost sales because of that. Just not knowing that. So I want to get on the training every single day
Mm-hmm.
and just go out and meet with, more people every single day. I mean, there's been times where, contractors have showed up to my house and I just had to leave the field because I had to go back to my house. So just
Yeah.
really getting focused and getting out there more.
Well, the point to be made here is that a lot of people they always have all these concerns, and I know Joey's got his hands full as well at
Uh-huh.
home with some different things, and
Uh-huh.
but yet you both are getting out there and both are very successful. Joey's crushing it,
Yeah,
and
he is.
yeah, he is crushing it, and and that's great. But yes, you do. You've had your hands full. A lot of people could have just laid down.
Hmm.
They could have. They could have very easily just said, "Well, you know what? I got two." They could have used that as an excuse. And
Hmm.
a lot of people are always looking for excuses. And you're showing me that just somebody who can speak clearly, that has confidence and takes instruction, can and with a good positive attitude can go out there and just start selling. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
There were definitely days that I was just I definitely was thinking about cashing in one of my excuses and going home.
Yes. Yeah, you can't do it. You stay out there
Yeah.
and run your route,
Yeah.
and that's the good thing about working the face-to-face deal is you can go out when you're done, when you go home, you're done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you reconcile your day. Are you doing that? Getting everything in order so
Uh-huh.
that tomorrow you have a clean slate?
Yep.
That's very, very important that you always do that at the end of every day so that the next day you wake up and you don't have to get everything together.
Hmm.
You always get everything wrapped up. I say, again, reconcile the day, put everything in its proper place, dot the I's, cross the T's. And then the next day, when you start, you can just get up, have coffee, breakfast, whatever it is your routine is, and then walk out the door and casually go about your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very, very important. And as you get busier and busier and do more and more business, sometimes people start getting arrogant. Maybe it's not arrogant, complacent. I wouldn't even call it complacent. They start just getting lazy because it's easy. And when
Hmm.
they get lazy because it's easy, then they stop doing the little things that will make a difference.
Yeah.
And stuff like that makes a difference.
Yeah, you're right. I
Listen,
mean, it is extremely easy when you go out and you sit in your first home and get 3 apps, you're like, well, I could probably just go home.
yeah, finish
And
your
it's
day.
staying out, yeah, it's staying out there. Cause yeah, you're right. I mean, I've definitely thought I went to this one lady's house, and I was actually a day late. I didn't go out. Joey and I both had a day where our appointment setters only got us one appointment. I think it was the day those phone lines were down, if you
Mhm.
remember.
Oh, yeah, I do
And
remember that day.
and I did not go out for that appointment. And when I showed up the next day, she was like, "You were supposed to be here yesterday. I had my sister and brother here." And so, you know, I missed out on those other 2 apps. So,
Oh, okay, but she
but
was there and she did let you in.
yeah, and
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was great. Um I have another meeting with her to for the siblings too. So
Oh, good.
yeah.
What's interesting about that is I always tell agents that it doesn't matter, that you need to work your schedule And like if you're in a house for 6 hours and you're getting the applications, in that case, 2 applications,
Yeah.
you're better off staying there and blowing off the other appointments. If you can call them or whatever, but you're better off just staying there. Seniors are generally home, not always, and some of them are on the run, but a lot of them are always home.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You get there the next day, 2 days later, 3 days. Christian, you could go a month later and say, listen, I had this lead last month with your name on it. I didn't get out here, but I wanted to make sure you're okay. How's it going? And it's the same thing. You would sell maybe not as high a percentage, but you'll sell a good percentage of those as well. It doesn't matter. So I want you to remember that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It just doesn't matter. And
I always call if they're not home. And I called this one lady and she was like, oh, I forgot. I'm at my granddaughter's house. You can come over. It's about 20 minutes away. And I went over, and her granddaughter is one of the turning 65s I have in November.
Oh, really?
Yes. So so I 2 apps in that home just from calling. She was not home. She no-showed me.
That's great. Listen,
Yeah.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
I'm full of cliches today, but it's true. It's true. Now, you're not calling ahead on appointments, are you?
No.
Okay,
just
good,
if they're
good.
not home. If they're not home, I do call and I'm like,
yeah, right.
We must have a misunderstanding. And I mean, you know how it is. They'll just go to their kid's
because you're
house.
not the most important thing in the world to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could be next door at their daughter's house. You never know.
Yeah. And I do want to make a point of what I mentioned before, not to ever call ahead on appointments.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because they're watching Judge Judy or something, and they'll be like, nah, I don't want to meet with anybody, because they want to see her final ruling,
Yeah. Yeah.
With divorce court, whatever it might be.
Well, nowadays it's especially if you go out on, what is it, Thursday, or if you go out on Thursday or Sunday, football, they'll cancel on you for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So listen, man, you're doing a great job, and you can continue this all through the OEP and stuff, because everybody's all tuned up. You got turning 65s all year. It never ends. And if and depending on how you market and, whether you're targeting Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage, it just goes all year. It never stops. This pace that you have right now, you can continue this every week of the year to the all year long. That's it. So some people think it's only a Medicare season, but that's incorrect. Listen, Christian, any final words? Because we've covered it, and I'm pleased. But do you have any final words? Let me ask you this: advice to your fellow new agents coming out of the gate. What would you tell them?
If you're gonna run appointments in person, get 2 telemarketers, and if you're gonna do it over the phone, you need a lot more, because I feel like that's usually when people start to run behind, is not realizing that you do need a lot more appointments if you're working over the phone. And definitely, if you can get out there, go meet with people. You'll have more fun. You will feel more connected to them, and they'll feel more connected to you. So you realize that it's a real situation, and you're saving them real money that they need. So
and listen, I want to add one other thing to this, that Christian, you're a smart guy, and it's obvious that you are. You and I haven't talked a lot up till now, but it's apparent that you're a pretty sharp guy. You see a lot of opportunities out there, and you see the pie in the sky numbers, and you see, agent makes 50,000 first month and stuff like that. But you're doing it right, and I believe that so you've made a decision, right? I'm going to build my business in this manner, and you've made the right decision, because all that pie in the sky stuff doesn't. It's just it's a false promise. You know what I mean? And and oftentimes people just find themselves, chasing the shiny objects, picking up shiny objects, that type of, stuff. But you're doing the right thing, man. And listen, again, if you were just to add the numbers up at the pace you're on, and you can do it all year long, I mean, in a couple of years, you'll have six figures coming in just getting out of bed. And that certainly is, and it happens relatively quickly. If you were to keep the pace that you're at now, that just in 1 year, that would be 10 deals per week, and there's 50 weeks, right?
Yeah, 500. That's my goal, 500.
That's six figures right there. That's it. Renewals of six figures. Okay, that's it. And you're aware of this, so I don't need to. I'm sure you've done the numbers. So
a couple of times.
Yeah, more than once, right? But hey, it's nice you can tell your wife, like, hey, this is working, right?
Yeah. No, she's relieved too, especially having a kid now.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm just real happy that you're doing well, and I'm real grateful that you're working with us. And I wish you the best for the remainder of the Medicare AEP. But hey, can we come back and talk to you again, maybe in a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks?
Let's do it.
All right. Very good, man. Well, thank you, Christian. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, and listen, and you can join our Medicare Millionaire group, Medicare Millionaires Facebook group, and subscribe to our Medicare Millionaire YouTube channel to get the same information that Christian is getting. And all of our agents get the training that Christian is getting as well. So we'll see you.